Ah yes, Shin'en. These people, I really didn't know who they were until people started giving them lots of hype because they are one of the few Wii U only developers. I've seen more, let's just say, Mac and Linux only developers than I have Wii U developers. But anyways, I've seen them talk a lot of talk about their new game, Fast Racing Neo, which is not only supposedly going to have 4 to 8K textures in this video game. Of course, they don't mean if that's the resolution of the texture or if what, because keep in mind there are other games such as Quake Wars and Wolfenstein The New Order and Rage that use a technique called mega texturing, which, long story short, gives you an even higher resolution texture that spreads across, let's just say, the whole environment to make it look like it's not just repeating the texture over and over again. But anyways, long story short, this game is supposed to have hyper-real graphics. But the burning question is, how real are these hyper-real graphics? Are they as real as a next-gen system or a high-end PC graphics card, such as the new GeForce 900 series? Or are they still limited by the weak power of the Wii U's notoriously weak chipset? Well, let's take a look. 720p, 60 FPS. Now, as we all know, 720p is not 1080p, and the whole resolution war has been a very hot topic on gaming websites. However, of course, as the Xbox One runs games such as Battlefield 4 at 720p and the PS4 running that game at 900p, keep in mind, Battlefield 4 is a pretty big game. You have huge 64-player maps with dynamic destruction all happening at once. But what happens with this game? Well, maybe I'll give this game a free pass if it's got hyper-realistic graphics, like they promise, right? Well, let's take a look at these screenshots, shall we? Now, keep in mind all these screenshots are 1080p, but from the looks of it, they have that distinct upscaled console game look to them, indicating that the game is not running in native 1080p. And as you can see on, let's just say the pillars on the actual screenshots, I'll give you a link in the description to all of them, you can see jagged lines. I can see them on my monitor, and my monitor, let's just say I'm just looking at it, I can see the jaggy lines. And of course, let's not forget the textures. It seems like there is something off about, let's just say, the ground textures, they look pretty bland, especially considering how this is supposed to be a 2014 next-gen console game. And of course, the background, too, has plenty of distance fog, and of course, the foliage just looks pretty off, like this is a 360 game and not a next-gen game. The ground texture on this screenshot looks kind of it looks like it has that distinct 360 look where the texture looks a little bit blurry and stuff. Like this isn't really the best texture. And of course the whole environment just looks bland, like, I don't know, a certain game I'm going to mention in a second, but take a look at this. It just doesn't really look too great. And of course, the generic desert too. And of course, let's not forget the whole jaggy pipes on that in this screenshot. And of course, the foliage looks kind of, I don't know, 360 like. Like, this whole game has a 360 vibe to it. But wait a second. This looks familiar. Oh, I know what this game looks like now. I know. Oh, I know, it looks just like Halo 3 did, a 2007 360 game. That's pretty old. Let's be honest here. Sure, it didn't run at 1080p 60 on the 360, but we all know it can on the Xbox One, because it's getting ported to the Halo Master Chief Collection, and that version has been confirmed to run at 1080 60. And of course, Halo 3 had a better art direction too than this Shin'en Fast Racing Neo game, which just looks bland and generic and less colorful than this game, especially with the screenshots revealed so far. And yet here's the thing. I've actually seen some people out there say things from how this is them showing off the Wii U's true power, all the way to ridiculous stuff such as how that Shin'en game looks better than stuff like Drive Club or Forza 5. Like, seriously? Look, this Fast Racing Neo game only looks like a 360 game, a system from 2005, and the game I'm showing you isn't even a later 360 game, but an earlier 360 game from 2007. And it's still a good game today. I mean, Halo 3, probably one of my favorite Halos after all. But anyways, long story short, Fast Racing Neo is nothing to get excited about. It might be a good game, but here's the thing. Please, stop pretending it's a next-gen game, because it's not a next-gen game. And all this proves is that the Wii U is still incapable of handling next-gen games. Because let's be honest here, the Wii U can't run last-gen games very well, but the Xbox One and PS4 can.